Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another Prehistoric Planet video. Today we are going to be reviewing the 4th episode of Prehistoric Planet 2, so let's get right on into it. Episode 4, Oceans. We begin in the middle of the ocean, where we see a giant Mosasaur. We learn that the reef is inhabited by many animals. We also see a smaller Mosasaur, which is a female Phosphorosaurus. Although smaller than the other Mosasaur, the Phosphorosaurus is also a deadly predator. When the sun sets, we can see some bioluminescent fish swimming near the surface of the water. They do this because their bioluminescence blends in with the moonlit surface of the water, and to confuse predators. However, this doesn't stop the Phosphorosaurus from catching a few of the fish. Once the sun rises, the fish and the Phosphorosaurus have to go into hiding from the larger predators. In the oceans of North America, we can see Asparornus hunting fish in a large school of fish. Asparornus use their beak filled with needle-sharp teeth to help them catch fish. Eventually, a group of Zvactanus show up and begin to scoop up fish with their large mouths. The Zvactanus are one of the largest and fastest fish in the ocean. Eventually, the number of fish begins to dwindle, and the Zvactanus end up hunting the Asparornus. Although the Zvactanus are faster, the Asparornus are more agile, and some of the Asparornus manage to evade the predators. We transition to Europe, and we can see some of the tide carrying tiny Ammonite eggs into rock pools. Some of the eggs are ready to hatch, and little baby Ammonites pop out of the eggs. This little pool acts as a nursery, but the tide eventually retreats and the water levels get lower. Luckily, the baby Ammonites have a way to escape, and as a group, they push themselves into a deeper pool of water, where they wait for the tide to take them out to the ocean. Some of them don't make it out to the ocean and become food for scavengers, like a baby Atrociraptor. We then see the return of the Tyrannosaurs, and they are swimming in shallow waters for safety. They eventually go out into deeper water, which acts as a feeding ground, but they are not the only ones swimming in the deep. We then see a 50-foot-long Mosasaurus stalking the group of Tyrannosaurs. It attempts to catch one of them, but fails. The Mosasaur tries again and catches one. It jumps out of the water, holding the Tyrannosaur in its jaws, which looks really cool. In the seagrass beds of Europe, we see many different-looking Ammonites. We also see the Bascuites feeding near the seafloor, and the Diplomacerus, which has a giant shell that looks like a paperclip. We also see young and adult Nostoceras. We then see a frozen sea in Antarctica, where we can see a Mortiniapod breaching the surface of the water. Since they do need to go up for air, swimming under the ice is risky, and the young ones have to stay close to the adults. We then see them feeding on some small creatures that are found in the polar mud. To separate the food from the mud, they partially close their jaws to let the mud out and keep the food in. The episode ends with the Mortinias coming up to the surface to catch a breath of air. The Prehistoric Planet Uncovered segment of this episode is led by Dr. Michael Habib and Kirsten Formoso. Again, I do apologize if I'm saying these names wrong. And they talk about how fast a Mosasaur was. We learn that Mosasaurs curve their bodies into a C shape to allow them to go from completely still to astonishing speeds within an instant. It turns out that they could reach 30 miles an hour within a second. And that was episode 4 of Prehistoric Planet 2. I thought this episode was really cool and nice looking. In my video on the trailer, I pointed out that I like the aquatic environments a lot, and in this episode, they look fantastic. I especially love when we see all the Ammonites and the Mortinia in the Arctic. So that is going to have to wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to press the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!